Scotty's voice changed probably 12 or 13, and it really didn't crack a lot. It's like it fell off a cliff one week.
When Scotty came to me as a freshman, he had a pretty good range for a freshman boy, so I needed him as a tenor.
She needed an extra tenor, so I was the man for the job.
He came to me after a summer break and said, "Miss Clayton, my voice is dropping. I think I need to be a bass." So I said, "Well, let me hear you." And I thought, yeah, you need to be a bass.
Scotty got in the car and I picked him up and he's like, "Mom, I have got big news." And I'm like, "Oh, you did good on your math test." He's like, "No." He said, "This is much bigger than that." He said, "I got moved to bass." He was ecstatic. I mean, it was just, I don't know, I just didn't get it, but it was a thrill to him.
Oh, we weren't singing country music in that. I can guarantee you that. We were singing all kinds of classic stuff from the 1700s or the 1600s. But, you know, it was fun, though. It was fun.
He auditioned and made it into my advanced chorus, of course.
The DeMeister singers are the superior choir at Garner. They're the advanced group. And it was a lot of fun going to chorus every day with her. You know, it wasn't just go there and sing notes. She made it fun, and she made the music come to life.
When he came to sing his exam, it was a country song, and he had his little guitar, and he sat down, and I mean, we just went crazy, and I'm sitting back there in the back of the room grading, and I'm like, I can't believe he can sing this good. We just never heard that style.
When I was growing up, I had two loves in life. One was music and one was sports, and baseball in particular.
When Scotty was growing up, you know, I was always taking him to ball games and things like that. And, you know, baseball was probably his biggest passion, because that's probably my biggest passion as well. So, you know, kind of like father, like son as far as that's concerned. And
it was always a dream of mine to play at the varsity level for the high school team. You know, I went up through the JV leagues, and then I finally made it to varsity with Coach Goffney.
I've known Scotty for a long time. He's very competitive. You know, he's always very, very well composed on the mound and fiery. Just has always been a really good competitor for us.
He was a great coach, you know. He was very strict. You know, we were running all the time, and if you were late, you'd be running poles.
A pole is when you start at one foul pole and you have to run to the other one and back. If he were to ever come back and play for us, that is the one thing he does not miss.
You know, he didn't take no slack, so, you know, I guess that's a good thing in a coach.
We demand a lot out of him. You know, they may not like it now, but maybe he'll appreciate it someday.
Definitely baseball, it's not so much just a game, you know. You learn a lot about yourself, you learn about being a good man, so it's not just about swinging a bat and hitting the ball over the fence. You know, it's a lot more to the game. It's definitely one of my big loves growing up. I remember my sophomore year, I tried out for the play Bye Bye Birdie. And I got the lead role as Conrad Birdie, kind of like the Elvis-y thing, so I had that part down pat, impersonating Elvis my whole life growing up. So it was definitely a juggle because that was during the baseball season. So Coach wasn't real happy with me going to play practice when I should be on the field running hills and running poles and stuff.
When a kid tells you he has to miss 2 weeks of practice to do the school play, you know, it's hard to put him in a game and do other stuff. And at that point, you know, obviously we didn't know he'd be where he is today. I remember telling him I hope he's a better singer than he is a baseball player because he wasn't going to do much for us.
They always gave me crap about that, you know, just being the play. You know, nobody on the baseball team does that, but, you know, it's something I love, so we had to work that out. I remember I was in the dugout with Coach, and he looked at me and said, "So what's next, McCreary? Idol or something?" I said, "Well, you know, I just might." So
at that point, we kind of knew that he was a musician playing baseball and not vice versa.
My first competition was Clayton Idol in 2009. And before that, I'd only sang in church, you know, not really done anything outside of that. So I figured it'd be nice to give it a chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to contestant number 10, Scotty McCreary. And I said, "Grandpa, what's this picture here?" Like a couple of kids just trying to save each other. You should have seen it in color.
And I ended up winning the whole thing. So that opened the door for me outside of church, performing, and I learned a lot from that. So that was definitely a stepping stone in my life as a musician. I was just your normal teenager playing ball, and then I went and auditioned for the biggest show on television.
Going back to Garner was one of the best days of our life.